Inside this edition of Bills, 'tis the season to make shit up. Voluntary OTAs just started, and so content creators like me need to fill up the void created by the absence of helmets and pads to predict the future. Here are my top 10 Buffalo men on the Bills. Let's hope these few break all through for the Bills. I heart the regular season. I love the playoffs. I loves me some mock draft season, free agency, and draft season. And guess what? I love this time of year too. The time of year that Bruce Nolan says is full of, quote-unquote, hopium, which means it's the time of year when my wife finds me night in and night out, sedate and gritting a grin in an after-hours hopium den, imagining rookie after rookie breaking the mold and making an impact year one. I also love this time of year because it's when Joe Marino releases his list of the top 10 most important players to the future of the Bills, and in so doing invites experts like Bruce Nolan, like Anthony Prohaska, Jeremy White, Ryan Talbot, Sal Capaccio, and others to contribute their list of players who project to be the most impactful for the future of our beloved Buffalo Bills. The insights are insightful. The thought exercise is exciting and marries perfectly with that communal hopium we're all smoking this time of year. And so, with the comfort and assistance of an extra couple weeks, a little added hindsight and information, and hours of listening to the aforementioned experts, I present my list. My 10 players most important to the future of the Bills includes, in order from 1st to 10th, Josh Allen, Matt Milano, Taron Johnson, TJ Sanders, Spencer Brown, Dion Dawkins, Terrel Bernard, Landon Jackson, Ed Oliver, Keon Coleman. I present that list within the first 300 words of this edition of Bills, because regular listeners know that I don't like to bury the lead the way online recipes do. So that's the lead. That's the list. It's a bit of an old list when you compare it to the other lists from the likes of, again, the aforementioned Joe Marino, Anthony Prohaska et al. My list is a bit odd because, well, I'm a bit odd, and because I've made my own rules. And those rules are: rule number 1, Josh Allen is our quarterback. And so we have the potential to win any game we play. That's the baseline. That's our essential premise. That's the first rule of Nick from New York's top 10 list. Rule number 2. Once we have put Josh at the top of the list, and therefore built for ourselves a universe in which we have, at worst, a coin flip's chance to win any game we play, every player who follows Josh on the list possesses a particular set of skills that I predict will increase the likelihood that we can win any game we play, with descending, but of course still impactful, aplomb. And so the cascade goes through the list. The second ranked player, Matt Milano, is ranked second because on a team with Josh at quarterback, Milano moves the needle towards an increased likelihood of victory in any game more than any other player. And Taron Johnson is ranked third because on a team with Josh at quarterback and Matt Milano at linebacker, Taron moves the needle towards an increased likelihood of victory in any game more so than any other player, and so on and so on. Rule number 3. The future, quote unquote, begins on September 7th, 2025, and ends February 8th, 2026. Projecting beyond this current season introduces a menu of variables like injuries, like contractual negotiations, like surprise free agent signings, maneuvers by other teams, and the total randomness that regulates all people, animals, plants, planets, and stars that eludes my predictive capacity. So, this list includes those 10 players that I project to be most critical to the success of our 2025-2026 Buffalo Bills. I am on a mission to see how I like doing and how much you enjoy streaming 15-minute editions of the Bills pod. So you have been enlisted to join me on that mission. And so, as an enlistee, I hope you enjoy this musical interlude, after which I'll return to tell you about why I have Josh Allen, Matt Milano, and Taron Johnson as my top 3 most important players to the success of your beloved 2025-26 Buffalo Bills. And I'm going to return for a second installment of this series, so a separate episode, to detail why I have TJ Sanders, Spencer Brown, Dion Dawkins, Terrel Bernard, Landon Jackson, Ed Oliver, and Keon Coleman ranked 4th through 10th, respectively. You can also follow me on Twitter, where my handle is @TheBillsPod. Hell of a handle, isn't it? Like, how did I snag @TheBillsPod in the year 2025? Go me. Go Nick from New York, your friendly neighborhood self-licensed football therapist. Follow me on Twitter, where I'll be giving away the goose as to why I have included Sanders, Jackson, and Keon in spots 4 through 10. But for now, sit back and enjoy your musical interlude. Josh Allen's 2024-25 total EPA was 187.46, best of any quarterback in the league by a full 7 points, ahead of second place Lamar, which would be a great nickname for him if he was ever contending for the presidency against Donald Trump. Second place Lamar, excuse me. If I understand EPA correctly, and I'm adept at communicating my understanding of EPA, that means that over the course of last season, Josh put the Bills in position to score an extra 187.46 points last year versus the number of points that your average, your zero EPA, your par for the course quarterbacks would have put them in a position to score. That's probably one of a bunch of ways that I could phrase that, and maybe other ways would be more accurate, but I find that the simplified version I've just offered helps paint the picture, if even only in the way an impressionist might paint a picture, most usefully. And so I'll repeat myself. At the risk of being crude, there must be 50 ways to leave your lover. And Josh Allen put the 2024 Bills in a position to score an extra 187.46 points versus the number of points that your average, nothing gained, nothing lost quarterbacks would have put them in a position to score. Ergo, for that, and 10 million other reasons, Josh Allen is number 1 on this list, and is the reason that the Bills have, at worst, a coin flip's chance to win any game they play, regardless of who else is on the field for them. Number 2 on the list is Matt Milano, at least insofar as he is indeed 100% healthy, primo 2022 Mint Milano. You've heard me extol Milano's importance to this defense when he is healthy, and extol how he, just by being healthy and playing every down, has the potential to turn this defense, which ranked 17th in total defense, ranked 24th against the pass, ranked 12th against the run, and thank goodness ranked 2nd in turnovers last year, into a defense that ranks top 10 in all categories, and historically anyhow, potentially top 5 or even top 3 in total defense. A total defense ranking achieved in 2021, 2022, and 2023. Plagiarizing from an edition of Bills entitled 5 Unsexy Things I Want to See in 2025. In his 2022 All-Pro season, Matt Milano was the best blitzing linebacker in football, recording a league-best 38.1% win percentage on blitzes. In his 2022 All-Pro season, Matt Milano was the most dangerous coverage linebacker in football, intercepting 3 passes and dropping 4 more possible interceptions, both ranked first in the league, and so when combined, served to support a linebacker who is better than any other, by far, in fact, at being a disruptor against the pass. And in his 2022 All-Pro season, Matt Milano's average depth of tackle on run plays was 2.4 yards, which ranked him 4th in the league among all other linebackers. He makes splash plays against the run. He makes splash plays in coverage, and he wreaks havoc when rushing the passer. Put it all together, you've got one fine-looking NFL linebacker. And in some future edition of Bills, I'll lay out in statistical detail why linebackers are still the most important members of any defensive unit, but suffice it to say that when Matt Milano is on the field, he is directly involved in determining whether an opponent runs a successful or an unsuccessful play on every single snap. And so, since few linebackers are as good as he is at making those plays turn out unsuccessful, he is my second most important player to the near future success of our beloved Buffalo Bills. Once you've got a team with Josh Allen and Matt Milano on it, the player who most reliably tips the scales in our favor vis-a-vis winning any game we play is Taron Johnson. Now you, as a fellow Bills fan, might not find these selections very sexy. But guess what, amigo? Football ain't a sexy game. It's mostly just really big, fast 20-somethings bashing into one another. And Taron Johnson has been relied upon to be one of those 20-somethings who bashes into other 20-somethings more capably than most others in the league during his 7-year career. Going back to 2020, Taron's 3rd season, and his 1st as the full-time starting nickelback, which is really our 3rd linebacker. But that, too, for a future episode, will offer my opinion on the modern incarnation of the NFL linebacker and how we ought to view him. But back in that 2022 season, neither safety nor cornerback has recorded more stops, capital S, according to PFF, than Johnson's 177. A stop, according to PFF, by the way, is a play that constitutes a failure, inverted commas, for the offense. In 2022, Taron's 39 stops ranked him 1st among all safeties and corners. Sorry, that was in 2020. So going back to 2020. So in 2020, Taron's 39 stops ranked him 1st among all safeties and corners. In 2021, he ranked 9th among that same cohort with 32 stops. In 2022, his 40 stops ranked 2nd. In 2023, his 40 stops ranked 3rd. And last year, despite only playing in 12 regular season games, his 26 stops ranked 28th among safeties and corners. And as big of a dog as he is in the run game, We Bills fans all know of his proclivity for making the big interception in the big game. His 101-yard pick six of Lamar Jackson in the 2021 divisional playoff is still the longest in playoff history, and we all fondly remember his interception of Patrick Mahomes in Week 6 of the 2022 season to seal that 24-20 Bills win over the Chiefs. To put a pin on Milano's and Johnson's importance to this defense, I submit into evidence that the defenses in the McDermott era have a very specific identity, an identity which has embedded within it a very specific strategy, a strategy which requires very specific kinds of players like Milano and Johnson. Whether Leslie Frazier, Sean McDermott, or Bobby Babich is calling the plays, this is not a bend but don't break defense as it is so often been called. Rather, this is a defense that bends you, the offense, until you break. And this defense includes Josh Allen. Hot take, weird take. What does that mean? It means that the opposing quarterbacks see the scoreboard, and they know that number 17 is on the sideline with a Microsoft Surface in his hand. And over the past 5 seasons, the Bills are among the best first-half scoring teams. In 2020, the Bills ranked 4th in first-half scoring at 15.5 points per first half. In 2021, they ranked 4th at 14 points per first half. In 2022, they ranked 3rd at 15.3 points per first half. In 2023, they ranked 6th, scoring 14.2 points per first half. And last year, 2024, the Bills ranked 5th, scoring 14.5 points per first half. And guess what? Buffalo's offense has also been among the best second-half scoring teams since 2020, ranking 4th in 2020, 1st in 2021, 7th in 2022, 8th in 2023, and 1st, dropping an average of 16.2 second-half points per game last year. Ergo, Josh Allen is a member of the Buffalo defense. He puts pressure on opposing offenses to score. And when those opponents are hemmed in by a defensive system that requires long, sustained drives, and during those long, sustained drives seeks out to cause turnovers, those opponents are bound to screw up and turn the ball over. No defense over the past 5 seasons has caused more turnovers than Buffalo's 145. Match Matt Milano and Taron Johnson with Josh Allen, and you are living Sean McDermott's dream of complimentary football. And so, those are my 3 most important players to the future, near future, success of our beloved Buffalo Bills: Josh Allen, Matt Milano, and Taron Johnson. And so, I'll see you next week for another edition of the Bills pod, during which I'll tell you why TJ Sanders is the 4th most important player to the Bills' future, yes, near future, success, followed by, in order, Spencer Brown, Dion Dawkins, Terrel Bernard, Landon Jackson, Ed Oliver, and Keon Coleman. And so, if you see me on the street or at Wegmans or at St. John Fisher trying to sneak a pic of Keon's newly muscular thighs, and I'm wearing a Bills hat because I'm always wearing a Bills hat, you should know that by now, raise a fist in the air, fellow Bills fan, and say, "Go Bills!" And I will return the friendly gesture by raising a fist in mine very own in the air and saying, "Go Bills! Go Bills! Go Bills!"